This guy is nuts. Is he really making daily recordings of his possible divorce and releasing it as a podcast? They both cheated on each other. She's making six figures and still doesn't contribute to any joint endeavors financially. Why is she still with him? Why is he still with her? I can't wait for the next episode. This helped me be a better wife. So this is how men think. I hate my husband less now. I understand my wife more now. These are some of the listener comments to the Divorce Diaries podcast. All over the map, I know. These anonymous accounts of events should resonate with anyone that has been married, is married, or is preparing for marriage and helps couples avoid pitfalls as they might prepare for marriage. Entire seasons are released on Patreon weeks before anywhere else at Divorce Diaries Podcast Patreon page. Link in description. Now for today's episode.
All right, it's the rebooted Divorce Diaries. Let me let you guys I'm giving an update on the bullshit that my perspective got me. Just recorded the other podcast, like I just got off the phone with a fucking police officer from the school because I had a bad perspective and I just couldn't have a conversation with some teachers. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you got to listen to the last Divorce Diaries entry. It's I don't know, maybe I'll title it, if I ever release it, I'll title it something like the school conflict and my bad perspective, something like that. I just got off the phone with an officer, Officer Gaylord, Officer Gale, Officer something with a G, because I had a bad perspective and I was walking my dog around the bus loop at the school across from my house, and I didn't want to even engage with the people that were trying to tell me I can't have my dog on the premises of the school with the kids they were trying to protect. I got so arrogant, so defensive, so pushy that I just straight up ignored these people, so much so where they wanted it to not happen again and they called a police officer. The police officer goes to my house, has a conversation with my kids, and says, give my information to your dad and let him call us so we can figure out what's going on. So now the value and the cost of unintended consequences. I now just got off the phone with a police officer because I had a bad perspective and I had to tell her how I understood the rules and would comply with not bringing my dog on the property during school times. And all of this could have been avoided if I simply had a conversation and I simply decided to not be so offended, decided to not act like I was being victimized by people that were not victimizing me. If I just grew the fuck up and got out of my own way and stopped acting like my own special brand of dick. This is just a little bit of a rant, and it's a rant about myself because I claim to want to have a life of ease and free of stress and drama and pain and anguish and frustration. Yet I am the cause of a lot, probably even all. It's not all, it's definitely not all, but I am the cause of a lot of my own problems. It was because of me that I didn't even think about, should I come up to the school with my dog during this time? As soon as I saw the cars in the bus loop, I should have just turned around, but I didn't. Then someone's trying to highlight the error in my ways. And what do I give them for their trouble? I give them grief. Then when they were trying to yell at me to get me to understand that I really shouldn't be here and it's maybe a liability, what if my dog gets loose, what if it bites a kid, whatever, I decided to feel attacked. I decided. I didn't decide to be reasonable. I didn't decide to be open. I didn't decide to be patient. I decided to be impatient. I decided to be crass. I decided to be rude. I decided to ignore people. And for my trouble, I had to have a 5-7 minute conversation with a police officer who was very nice to let her know that I understood the rules and I won't be bringing my dog there during school hours. What the fuck is wrong with me that I even had to do that shit because I just can't get out of my own fucking way? Grow the fuck up. It's horrible. just get out of your own way. If you're a person like me that, for whatever reason, you find yourself dancing alone and you're stepping on your own toes, you need to understand that there's no one to look at and blame except you. You're the one stepping on your own feet. I'm the one stepping on my own fucking feet. It's gotta get my shit together, because that is the unintended consequences. I didn't have to fucking talk to a police officer today. What the fuck is my problem?
Wow. That was the Divorce Diaries podcast. The Daily Saga will continue tomorrow. The full season's episodes are on Patreon now. Subscribe for early access. Click the Patreon link in the description. Hopefully, these entries help our anonymous recorder as a form of his own personal therapy. That's his hope and his intention. Will these recordings of life's curveballs lead this family to the best resolution in the end? We'll keep listening. New episodes are released daily on all podcast players, but all episodes are available on Patreon at Divorce Diaries Podcast Patreon page. Until next time.